Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of Let's Inspire Together, our music video countdown that showcases the positive music of local, regional and international artists. We also do interviews with people from all walks of life with the hope of stimulating some really meaningful and inspirational conversations that are geared towards informing and uplifting. I am your host, Leandra Richards, and today's episode is going to be lit. Even though it's another lockdown episode, we have some unique features today that I'm going to tell you about very soon. But before I get into that, let me introduce our first music video, which is by Father Rob Galea featuring Joe Melendrez, and it's called I Just Need You.
Last night both heavy on me. Woke up and I'm feeling lonely. This world got a way of showing me. Some days it'll lift you up, some days it'll call you bluff. Man, most of my days I ain't got enough. And all I know is you're my only hope. When I'm up, when I'm down, when the wolves come around,
tell me
when my feet hit the ground, I just need you on my darkest day. When I'm losing faith,
tell me
no, I ain't gonna change. I just need you. Lord, I need you. I just need
you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me when I'm beat down, broken. Hold my heart when it's split wide open. Turn these eyes to my soul protector. Break the will of this born infector.
Cause all I know is you're my only hope. When I'm up, when I'm down, when the wolves come around,
tell me
when my feet hit the ground, I just need you on my darkest days. When I'm losing faith,
tell me
no, I ain't gonna change. I just need you.
yeah. Come on, hey.
I just need you.
Yeah. Come on.
Need you.
Sing it out.
When you pull me closer, I come
Let's
alive.
go.
When you pull me closer, I come alive.
Jesus.
When you pull me closer, I come
Sing it
alive.
out.
When you pull me closer, I come alive.
Jesus, we need you now more than ever.
So, I was telling you about how today's lit lockdown episode is going to be unique, and that's because we have a guest interviewer, Damian Sogren, who himself was interviewed in one of our previous episodes, where he told us about his involvement in the entertainment industry and shared his wonderful personality with us. Some of that personality I'm sure you're going to see today as he interviews Shavon Wilson and Daniel Francis. But before we get into that, let me introduce our second music video, which is by Father Sandesh Manuel featuring Markos Sotiris, and it's entitled Smile.
I've been reminiscing of the past times, thinking of the laughs we had. I can't even remember the last time I saw you smile. They say it's always better from the outside, so they don't see you're broken. Somehow we forgot about the bright side, so we learned to hope again. If you smile every once in a little while, first time. I've been learning to hope again, cause you know you're my best friend. When you smile, I see the sunshine brighter. See the sunshine brighter. And I'm back now. You can keep on pushing, but I'm never gonna back down. Every piece of music that I write is from the heart. Ever since the start, I'ma shine a light out when it's dark. Spit fire, I'ma light this up. Cause once we get started, you know we can stop. Started from the bottom, now we at the top. Sing it with me when the beat drops. I've been reminiscing of the past times, thinking of the laughs we had. I can't even remember the last time I saw you smile. They say it's always better from the outside, so they don't see you're broken. Somehow we forgot about the bright side, so we learn to hope again. If you smile every once in a little while, like we did for the first time, I've been learning to hope again, cause you know you're my best friend. When you smile, I see the sunshine brighter. Sunshine brighter.
All right. Well, yours truly, Damian Sogren, and we are lit. Let's inspire together. And right about now, today, we have a gentleman who has been doing his part to inspire a lot of people, especially a lot of up-and-coming entrepreneurs in terms of their business adventures and all the related, advantages, disadvantages. He's been guiding them on their path. All right. His name is Shavon Wilson. Welcome, Shavon.
Hi, how are you going, Damian? Hello, Lit. How is everyone? Glad to be on the program today.
Well, glad to have you. And I know that you've held a lot of positions in the corporate world and have a lot of experience, and you're using it now in a very positive way up to this point. And of course, let us know a bit about your journey and your background from where you were leading up to this point.
Okay, well, I started in TSTT, many years ago. I spent about 18 years at TSTT actually, and I worked my way up to, when I left, I was the vice president of B Mobile. So everything under B Mobile that, the customers would see in the public domain, I was responsible for that. And from there, I left in, 2 years ago actually, and now I'm the CEO of a company called Novo International, and they deal with mostly technology-driven products. We're into the agro-processing side of the business now, so that is our new venture going forward. And when I left, I also formed my own company, basically in consultancy. So I work with my brother, and then I have some passion projects on the side that I'm also working on. So it's just been keeping myself pretty busy. But during the journey, though, what has really happened is that I found that after I, left school and I entered into the corporate world, I started to hear about and learn about a lot of different jobs and job opportunities that I never heard about in school. And as I spoke to more and more young people, I just realized that, the information about what do these jobs entail, how do you become qualified for certain types of jobs, that information just wasn't widely available. So a lot of what I try to do with my audiocast program is actually share that information and bring information to the fore, so people now know about the different opportunities they have in today's world.
Well, you certainly wear a lot of hats, a lot of experience right there. From being an audiocast host to being a corporate exec in the telecommunications field to, of course, now being in the business of helping people create their own businesses. Let's know a little bit about that.
Yeah, so what would have happened, and I guess that kind of drove me in this space, was that I found that when I looked at persons who are applying for jobs in the corporate world, I just started to see, you know, less and less young men, to be honest, applying for a lot of those jobs. And I started to wonder, you know, well, why that would be? And because I was also in a different life, if you want to call it, I was also a referee and I was in charge of a football team. I was able to engage with a lot of the young guys, 17, 18, 19, and started speaking to them, about, well, what it is they're looking to do, what it is they're interested in. And the common feedback was that, I guess like most of us, they just didn't know. But, they weren't interested in going out to work in, a bank or to become a lawyer or a doctor, those things that you were taught in school, be a fireman or a policeman. So I started to realize a lot of them were really interested in entertainment and like music. But there were opportunities there that we never knew about. A lot of artists have managers, but what do the managers actually do? What is the role of a manager? How do you become the manager of an artist? And that was where kind of sparked this whole initiative about trying to make sure that I share the information, get the information, because some of these things I didn't even know myself, to be honest. So I'm learning about it as well. But it is actually starting to look at those opportunities and those jobs that you might have wondered about, or probably never even wondered about. But those are real opportunities for persons today. And, we want to share in terms of today's world, there are so many more opportunities than we had back in the day. How do you get that information to the public domain?
Well, that's a very important point that you brought along. A lot of people have been looking for that unique path, that unique path to go down of entrepreneurship and owning their own business and not being caught up in the 9-to-5 grind. And of course, we're in the midst of a pandemic, and a lot of people have found it to be a good time to get on this path of entrepreneurship. Some people have found it quite daunting to get on this path of entrepreneurship. And what do you have to say to those people, those two different kinds of people?
Well, I would say that definitely anything, if you want to do it well, it is going to, it's going to take a lot of hard work. Whether you're working for somebody or you want to start your own business, it is going to take a lot of hard work. So you got to be mentally prepared for that. And so for those who are definitely interested, then I would say, yes, definitely go forward. Find what it is you're interested in, what you're passionate about. Because if it is you love what you're doing, there's a whole saying about it. But the truth is, if it is you really love what you do, it's going to be a lot easier to push through the challenges that you're going to face. And for those that find it to be a little bit intimidating to start up your own business, I would say just first step is make sure you get all the information. Just do the information gathering first and have the information before you, and then you can make the decision. Sometimes, people find it intimidating without actually knowing what needs to be done. But if it is you get the information first, it puts you in a better position.
So let me ask, what personally drives you to continue on this path of entrepreneurship and business ownership, as well as to help motivate others on their respective journeys to entrepreneurship? What motivates you?
So it's a couple of things, actually. One, it is really a belief that was instilled in myself when I was small, basically from my mom. She was a single parent growing up. And, a lot of what I do today is, a lot of that motivation came from understanding, the challenges that I actually had to find ways to generate income to feed a family, right? And then now being a dad myself, I want my kids to have all the opportunities before them. So not to be only dependent on working for someone, but also to look at being employable for yourself, generating your own revenue. And I have, it doesn't have to be, people think about entrepreneurship and they only think about the big guys in the business, your Mark Zuckerbergs and they are the world, or Elon Musk, who end up being the, multi-billionaires. But it doesn't even have to be that. You can be very comfortable owning your own, restaurant or when I say restaurant, I use that loosely, or gardening business, or you can even own, if it is if you're into more or less anything, you're into sports, you can be your own coach, open your own coaching school. The thing is that there are so many opportunities for you to do something for yourself, provide a service, and if you provide a service to the best of your ability, there are things that people will want to do and want to pay for, and that's just the truth. Everybody, not everybody is going to do everything. So I think, just in terms of looking at it from making sure that people have an opportunity to do something that is positive, that drives me. And from a family perspective, just making sure that my family understands that you have so many opportunities, so don't limit yourself.
Well, definitely, the name of the show is Let's Inspire Together, LIT. And for somebody who's locked down right now and watching, somebody who's on the cusp of potentially launching their own business, whether it be small or medium size, and needs that little bit of inspiration, what word of inspiration could you give to them right here, right now?
I would say that, don't ever give up. Believe in yourself, and there's nothing in my mind really called failure. It's either you win or you learn. So definitely embrace all opportunities and make sure that you learn from them. It's the most important thing.
Yes, definitely. Use all opportunities, use all, constraints as an opportunity as well, right? I've heard that.
Yes.
I've heard many business persons say that too. And a lot of people have been looking at this current pandemic time as a major challenge, but a challenge to push themselves to rise above all the challenges there, and rise to the occasion. Do you see a lot of opportunities in this whole shutdown or pandemic lockdown, so to say, that the planet Earth is currently experiencing?
There are definitely some. I would say that it has forced people to embrace working remotely, which presents some opportunities for many people. I think prior to the pandemic, everybody thought you had to physically be in an environment to be able to work, right, and deliver on results, but that is not the case. And I think if it is, you look at the basics of what is happening, at the end of the day, we have challenges, and it's not only Trinidad, it's global, with regard to being able to sustain yourselves in the food space, So think about some of the basics around agriculture. I think there's a lot of opportunity there for you to be able to grow your own food and be able to provide for yourselves and for your family and friends too.
Agriculture, yeah, I think I'm gonna get into the farming thing right about now. It's cheaper and it's very productive. Everybody needs to eat, right?
No matter what, you never no pandemic, you still need to eat.
Of course. And for those out there who want to learn more, because it seems you have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience in the field, and they want to log on and get in contact with you and learn more, how can they find out more about your business and yourself and be in contact?
So I would guide them to my website, innovativity.com. And then they can also send me an email at letschat@innovativity.com. And from there, I'll be sharing a lot more on my social media handles and stuff going forward. So the information will be out there, but directing them to the website will be the first protocol.
All right. So last word to you. Any bit of advice or any message you want to give to the public logged on watching you right now?
Yeah, let's just go forward. In times like this, when there seems to be a lot of challenges, no matter where you look, there's always opportunity. So look for that silver lining, keep positive, and let's move forward.
Well, excellent. Well, we wish you all the best in all of your ventures and a lot of prosperity to come. And as always, keep it lit.
Thank you.
Our third lit lockdown music video is by Voces, Jovenes, entitled Gavilan, Gaita.
rehearse without music, you know.
Pico amarile brillo, pico rosaleta, viene corriendo escondido a comerse lo que haya dejado. Gavilan, Gavilan, Gavilan. Gavilan, 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 Gavilan. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosa letao. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosa letao. Agua del alma, yo viene el gavilán saliendo de la montaña. Agua del alma, yo viene el gavilán saliendo de la montaña pa' comer de mi perico, el único que me acompaña pa' comer de mi perico, el único que me acompaña. Gavilan, pico marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Mira cómo se aproxima, pico de rosaletao, pico marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Pico marierio, pico rosaletao, te das cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Te das cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Agua del alma se Gavilan se comiera, ay se comiera hielo, piedra matao. Agua del alma se Gavilan se comiera, ay se comiera hielo, piedra matao. Pa' quitarle la rocha la que tenés del otro lado, pa' quitarle la rocha la que tenés del otro lado. Gavilan, pico marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Mira cómo se aproxima, pico de rosaletao, pico marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Pico marierio, pico rosaletao. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Agua del alma me cancela Gavilan. Mañana no mato cuando baje la montaña. Agua del alma me cancela Gavilan. Mañana no mato cuando baje la montaña. Por comer de mi pollito que me hace tanta falta. Por comer de mi pollito que me hace tanta falta. Pica marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Mira cómo se aproxima, pico de rosaletao, pica marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Pica marierio, pico rosaletao. Te das cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Te das cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Agua del alma se Gavilan se comiera, ay se comiera teuro lo dramatao. Agua del alma se Gavilan se comiera, ay se comiera teuro lo dramatao. Por comer de mi pollito que me hace tanta falta. Por comer de mi pollito que me hace tanta falta. Pica marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Mira cómo se aproxima, pico de rosaletao, pica marierio, pico rosaletao, pene con el escondido, me solo caer en jao. Pica marierio, pico rosaletao. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Gavilan, 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 Gavilan. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao. Se da cuenta que la vida mía la domina la rosaletao.
Our fourth lit lockdown video today is by Ruth Osman, entitled Come With Me.
walk or run. Come with me, we'll be carried by the song. Come with me, spread your arms and float along. Come with me and we'll go there. I've been tripping on the line, wasting precious time. You know how it gets to you when you fall flat on your face. God, I wish I could erase some things I've said, things I've done. Then I see you walking by and I look into your eyes. Don't try, you can't hide the truth. I know you want it too. You want the same thing that I do. To be loved, to let love flow through you. We don't need fear where we're going. Hey, lay it down here. Love's a river and it's flowing. Babe, lay it down here. We don't need it where we're going. Girl, you got to lay it down here. Love's a river and it's flowing through you. Ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom, flowing through you.
All right, of course, you are watching Lit. Let's Inspire Together. Yours truly, Damian Sogren, and it's very fitting that Let's Inspire Together is the name of our show because I'm about to interview a very inspirational young man. And of course, we got to highlight those young people in society who are doing their best to inspire others. His name is Daniel Francis. Daniel, how are you doing?
I am doing excellent. I'm so honored to be on the show today. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you. And Daniel, so many accolades, so many accomplishments for such a young age. Daniel is an entrepreneur. He is a professional consultant and a personal development, a coach, yeah. And above all, right now, he is an author. And we're going to get into that in just a bit. But I want to find out from Daniel, what inspired you to do what you do?
I mean, basically, just like any other millennial, I was going through it in life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was kind of wasting away, wasting a lot of time. And it was through that down experience, you know, they always talk about you always find yourself in the bad experiences where I was really able to find myself. And through finding myself, I realized that, wow, you know, when I was going through this tough time, there were a lot of young people, same age as me, younger, older, going through that same tough time. And that more or less kind of started the inspiration of becoming a personal development coach, because I did a training on personal development, and it literally helped me figure out what direction I wanted to take with my life. And that inspired me to say, okay, I want to do this exact same thing that helped me with other persons who could use that same help.
So everything in your workshops and in your consultations, it came really from a personal place. It's not just lip service. You literally are practicing what you preach, right?
I'm using examples straight from my life, straight from things that are happening. I mean, lucky for me, my parents do this type of work, so I had that help. But I mean, not everyone has that luck to have family members who are doing this type of work.
All right, and of course, you've put all your work in and your practical work into the form of a book now, along with all of your knowledge and experience to inspire other persons of your age group. Please let the folks at home know what's the name of the book and what it's about.
So the name of the book is The Millennial Mind: Success Secrets for Unlocking Your Full Potential. The book, and if I had to describe it the best way I could, it's a relatable and insightful guidebook that shows you, the things that you are doing in your life that may be holding you back. You may not even realize it, and it's basically guiding you along on how you can make little changes to actually tap into your full potential. So going back to what I said at the beginning about being lost and trying to figure out things, and I learned a lot through that journey. But then once I started becoming a coach and training persons, workshops, consults, all these different things, I would meet people and it was always the same core issues. Of course, it'll be expressed differently because everybody is different, but it's always the same core things: lacking patience, not knowing what their purpose in life was, not knowing how to manage their time, not knowing what to do as an adult, because you get thrown from school into adulthood and you're not really sure what are the right things that you should be doing. And what I wanted to do with my book was just encapsulate everything that gives you that beacon of, oh wow, I've gone through this thing that he's talking about in this book. I'm going through it right now. And I just basically give very relatable and insightful steps on how you can make a change and just not feel alone. Because similar to when I went through this, I felt very alone when I was going through my low period and trying to figure things out. So the book is really that light to help you say, okay, I know what my potential is. I know what I could do, and I know what direction I'm going in. It's just for me to just put in the work now.
Now, I know you mentioned having a lot of your personal experiences a lot of young people could relate to within your book. Now, without giving too much away, what is one small life example? It could be something that's in the book or outside of the book from your own personal history that you could kind of, what's a teachable moment for somebody who's logged on right now and watching?
I can give a little sneak peek into the book. That's fine. We are very technological age. We were born into it. Some of us, it's like we came out to the womb with a cell phone in our hand or a Kindle or an iPad or something. And so, I have to highlight stuff like that in the book. But I really like to pull from experiences from earlier on to show what those things can do into your future life. So, for example, we had all the information at our fingertips. It sounds so simple to have a cell phone that you can go onto Google and Google anything, but that is what we were grown up having access to. I still remember, like, my grandparents, I think even my parents still had to go through this, where they would go to the library, have to find an encyclopedia and find information the manual way. We don't know what that is like, right? So that kind of fosters this idea of instant gratification. We want what we want now, and can foster some aspects of impatience. Now, of course, when you're younger, it's not really that big of a deal. We're just kind of bratty. But as you become older, you bridge a gap between school, adult life. You have more responsibilities, more expectations of life for yourself and for the things in your world. You now have this false sense of impatience, where it is, okay, well, I should get this or I should get that if I do this and if I do that. So you'll find that some persons, they get into a workplace, they say, all right, well, I have a degree or I have a master's, I should be a manager in a year, right? Of course, that's not how it actually works, right? And, it creates that air of entitlement. It creates that air that we really don't know what we're trying to do. And it really just started from how we were brought up, right? And it's such a small little aspect that you wouldn't really put so much attention onto. But in the book, when they're reading it, they're going to be thinking, wow, yeah, this seems so seemingly small, and look at the big impact it has on me. Because even me, I still experience, I think lack of patience is one of my biggest downsides, and I'm sure it's a lot of the biggest downsides for a lot of people who might be watching this as well. And I just really want to show that this is something that you have to struggle with, you have to get better with, and you need to kind of create this reality of what's happening right now. And if that means that you have to temper your goals, temper what your timelines are for things, then that's fine. That's all part of the real world. That's all part of experiencing things. And don't let your past negative experiences shape the bright future that you have in store for yourself.
Well, that sounds amazing. And I mean, the book itself, it's It's sounding like it's something that a lot of people could relate to, not necessarily just that core millennial market.
Definitely.
And I'm
Definitely.
thinking too for persons who would have had, been outside of that millennial bracket, but still have things unresolved from their, I guess, younger times, and may not have broken down certain barriers. They could still pick up something really good and valuable from reading your book. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I've made it in a way where it's practical to each reader. So each chapter ends with a little exercise. And because the exercise is more of an exploration of introspection, everybody's experience with it will be different and everybody will gain some type of positive aspect from it in their own way. I mean, that's what it's all about. For me, I read a lot and I really hate to read books that just make me feel motivated in that moment, but then after nothing changes. And that's one thing I really wanted to push with my book, is that you could put in a little work within the book and you will see a change after you're done.
Well, that's important. Introspection is very important. And I mean, I don't consider myself an old person, a quote unquote old person. I think I barely make it into the millennial category according to, the age group, the age range in your book there. Barely made it in, but.
No one said old, by the way. I just threw that out there.
I know, I'm calling myself that, because I'm kind of excited when I read about your book and everything it covers and everything like that, and I could see how useful it could be to persons of your age group, especially trying to find themselves in the workplace, in their career, in their life. I want to find out as well, what about persons who have to deal with that was a tongue twister,
Right? I know.
millennials on a daily basis, like persons, bosses, and management. Would you consider your book a useful tool for them to understand or get into the mind of a millennial?
Yeah, so funny enough, I mean, my main target is that millennial bracket, but I would say about 20-25% of my sales have come from just managers, parents, just persons who deal with millennials on a daily basis, buying it just to understand our world a little bit. Because you will get that insight of, okay, this is why he does what he does. Okay, this is why she reacts in this particular way because of this. All of that is within it. And actually, last chapter is called Bridging the Gap. And it's about bridging the gap between millennials and the generations above us. Because at the end of the day, if we want a society that works for everyone, that works seamlessly, there needs to be cooperation. It can't be one side or one generation versus the other. So definitely they would get that insight. And I mean, yeah, maybe get to understand that millennial sitting next to you who you find is just hard-headed and stubborn and entitled, and see what it's like in their world and maybe have a bit of understanding to why they do what they do.
That's very interesting. And you bring up a lot of good points about bridging the gap. That's very important. And I think we always need to strive to bridge the gap, whether in life, whether in our professional, the workplace scenario, and of course, spiritually as well. And on a personal note, I want to just give the audience a bit of an understanding of you. You're obviously quite ambitious and driven. What are a few things people don't know about you?
What people don't know about me. So outside of being a coach and a new author, I actually throw events in Trinidad and Tobago with a company called Triple E Empire. So that was something that was just completely different to what I do. But, it really helps me to learn about people's experiences. I come into contact with a lot of millennials and I just learn about a different business that's not common to what I do. So I always find that super interesting and always just good to add something different to your day-to-day. Outside of that, it was really funny. I actually hated reading, and I know this is kind of weird, but I did biology. I actually wanted to become a doctor. I did pre-med, everything, almost signed up for med school, and then I made the career change to this. But when I made the career change, I could barely read 10 minutes a day. It was maybe 2 books a year, and it just goes to show, just by incremental steps, reading a little bit more, just having a goal in mind. Like last year, 2020, I would have read like 50 books, and this year I'm aiming for 60. So I went from somebody who hates to read to somebody who's just like devouring books on a daily basis, and it just goes to show people can really change.
Devouring books, I mean, you basically have your own book right now, which is amazing.
That's it.
So from a path in the medical field to being basically a motivational coach and speaker, and of course a published author. What are you doing when you're not saving the millennial world? What are you doing for fun?
Well, because of COVID, those fun options are very much made smaller. But I am, no different than everybody else. I love sitting at home watching Netflix. Listen, if I find a season of something and I like it, I might stay up all night and finish that season. I'm one of those people. Once I start, I need to finish it, no matter what. I will sit down for hours and watch. And even play video games, and of course trying to line with my friends as responsibly as I can in these times. But one of my true loves right now is playing basketball, which is kind of tough because you don't really know. You don't want to be a statistic of spreading COVID, so I haven't been able to do that as much. But I also live very close to Markos, so that's something that I can just from working from home, I'll just go to the beach, work from the beach, and that in itself is just really calming and I don't know, just like a special thing that I think that's I love to do and I get to do.
Wow, working from the beach, you're living the millennial dream. I wish we could all work from the beach. I'm sure everybody out there loves the idea of doing that. And for those who see this book as a benefit, a potential benefit to their lives, how could folks access the book? Whether it's online, feel free to give as much details as you need.
All right. So you can search me on social media. That's Instagram, Facebook. It's the name of the company is Rebit Limited. So that's REBIT Limited. If you go on Instagram and you click on the bio, you will see you can actually read the first 2 chapters for free. And of course, you can reach out to me there to get a copy. Outside of that, I have copies at Sharon's bookstore in Port of Spain. I believe it's in St. James. And for those that live in Central and South, there's books in Scribbles and Quill. It's a nice little bookstore in Shogunas. But I would say the best way is to reach out to me on any of my social media via the Rebit Limited page or my personal page, which would be Daniel Francis or Daniel Martin Francis. I'm quick to reply. And in most cases, I'll deliver it personally because I really love meeting the people who are interested in my book and interested in reading it. So I could kind of put a face to the name and have that conversation of, okay, when you take a look, just let me know what you think because I'm always open to feedback.
Excellent. Well, you heard it, folks. Get lit with the millennial mind, all right? Thank you so much, Daniel Francis, and we wish you all the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure.
Our 5th music video is by Natalia Dopwell. It's entitled Estrellita, Ponce.
Good day, I'm Natalia Dopwell and this is my husband Daniel Gomez. Today we're going to be performing a song by Manuel Ponce called Estrellita. We'd like to dedicate this to everyone who's been experiencing loneliness during this strange and unprecedented time. We are encouraging everyone to reach out to your community, your family, your friends, and check in to give and receive comfort and support because we are stronger together.
you are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen, I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear you whisper you have nothing left. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. Oh, I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. Oh, I will rescue you.
Hello, my name is Father Charles Mangano. I am from New York, Long Island, and I have a lot of wonderful friends there in Trinidad. And I just wanted to offer a little inspiration as we are still dealing with all of the COVID issues in our world. In Matthew's Gospel, Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy and my burden light." You know, I'm offering that meditation because for the Lord to really give us rest, we have to come to Him completely. We have to surrender to the Lord every part of ourselves, all of our hopes, our dreams, our fears, our failures, our successes, to be able to share it all with the Lord, to hold on to nothing, to give it all to Jesus. For He has it. He has the details. Even when it looks like He doesn't, He totally does. Tonight I had the privilege of being able to share in an alleged apparition of Ivan the Visionary from Medjugorje. The Holy Father has declared the first 10 apparitions worthy of belief. And so tonight, in one of the apparitions, Our Lady reminded Ivan the Visionary to tell us that she said, "I am with you. I will never leave you alone. I am with you. And so in the midst of all of this, the Lord, Our Lady, the angels, and the saints are with us. No matter what you're going through, we need not be afraid. And if we come to the Lord and give Him a complete heart, then we can receive from Him the rest that only He can give us. Amen? And so I just share some of those thoughts with you, because we have to surrender all the pieces of our lives to Him, for Him to really give us His peace. Because then, if we hold on to anything, then He's like, what about that little piece over there? You have to give that to me. So may the Lord bless you and keep you. May He make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May God grant you His blessing, His healing, and His peace. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you.
Well, that's it for our lit lockdown episode today. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I want to say a special thank you to Damian, Shavon, and Daniel for all the pearls of wisdom and all the knowledge that they have given us today. I just want to ask you all to continue to be safe, to be your brother's keeper and a good neighbor and everything, while simply following the COVID regulations. We're not out of the hot water yet, so let's don't get complacent. You guys be safe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
Inflame the words on my tongue, claim the red in my eyes, explain the swell in my throat as I reach for my coat, and give way to the sting of the first of a million goodbyes. My eyes are full of your face, your fists are full of my hair, our hearts are full of the sound of dogs in a pound, as they howl in the night and demand to know why they're prisoners there. But here's the thing, those howling dogs are praying. If you find you're not alone, if you find another way back home, let me know. And when you're drifting from my view, I'll remember I can go there too, to be with you, just to be with you. I will have lived 1,000 lives by the time this night is through. And don't you find it appropriate that so many deaths and resurrections be solely puppeteered by the likes of you?